Francis Casey,
Here, sir.
Noel Connor,
Here, sir.
Colm Donnelly,
Here, sir.
Jared Kelly,
Here, sir.
Jared Malone,
Yes, sir.
David McBride,
Here, sir.
Peter McDermott,
Here, sir.
Morris Murphy,
Here, sir.
Daniel O'Brien,
Here, sir.
Thomas Smith,
Here, sir.
On the evening of the 25th of April 1969, I witnessed a meteorite roar low across the skies at West Belfast. At that very moment, I was playing football with all the other kids from our street. We stood transfixed, looking up as the early evening sky was fiercely illuminated by the magnificent fireball streaking above our heads. Across Belfast, a series of explosions were heard as the meteorite broke the sound barrier on its descent. It came to ground seconds later in a field on farmland at Bovedy near Kilrea. Less than the size of a child's football and weighing 10 pounds, it created an impact pit little bigger than itself. As an artist and writer, I became increasingly fascinated by my memories of that evening. However, none of my family, friends or neighbours could remember anything of the meteorite. It seemed as if the subsequent decades of violence and political unrest had extinguished the memory of that extraordinary spectacle. My investigations eventually led me to the Armagh Planetarium, where I was thrilled to discover that they had in their collection the actual meteorite. The planetarium have kindly allowed me direct access and contact with the Bovedy and enabled me to produce this new body of work. For this piece, produced especially for the 50th anniversary, I have fused word, sound and image to illuminate my memories of that remarkable event, to cast new light on one of the last innocent days of my childhood. A poem for two voices. Let me imagine, make believe I can roll 50 years away and talk with the boy I was back then. If I could give him voice, what would he say? Could we find the words to throw some light on that one extraordinary day?
So strange to hear my older self, a voice aged and altered elsewhere. I'm not surprised that he's come back for me. Deep down I've always known, waited patiently, like the last child collected from the school gate. Now, better late than never, together, we can turn for home and share our stories.
LaSalle School, West Belfast, 9:15 a.m., Friday, 25th of April, 1969.
Paul Bradley,
Here, sir.
Jared Burke,
Here, sir.
Francis Casey,
Here, sir.
Eugene Casey,
Here, sir.
Noel Connor,
Here, sir.
His fountain pen is nothing special, a Parker perhaps, softly held between scrupulously clean fingers. Resting on the polished desk, a pale-skinned wrist shows below the souteen's black sleeve. After each reply, the gold nib quickly ticks the paper twice, delivering a cross of slick blue ink in the tiny box beside each name, marking us in, one by one, down the day's long empty column. Every morning, the same mantra is called and answered, called and answered. Here, sir. Here, sir. This school day starting just like any other with, here, sir. Here, sir.
But Brother Stephen registers only the present. He knows nothing of the future, knows nothing of the meteorite, that lump of ancient rock fireballing towards Belfast, which tonight will tear my childhood sky apart.
Jared Carroll,
Here, sir.
Patrick Cunningham,
Yes, sir.
Patrick Davis,
Here, sir.
Colm Donnelly,
Here, sir.
Sean Donaghy,
Yes, sir.
Charles Finnegan,
Here, sir.
Francis Fox,
Here, sir.
Peter Christ,
Here, sir.
Our football pitch is far from perfect. A concrete curbed circle caked in flattened mud. A sort of roundabout, I suppose, where four terraced streets converge, cut from side to side by well-worn shortcuts and scarred by all the passing feet. Still, it's our own little Wembley, where most days we can meet, pretend to be Pele or Georgie Best, but Eusebio, that was always me. Sounding so good when I score, running away, celebrating myself, Eusebio, shouting, Eusebio, like Kenneth Wolstenholme on the BBC.
Eusebio! 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 Oh, Eusebio! Eusebio!
Would play until it got too dark to see. Then one by one would drift off home, but that evening is burned to memory. A stampede of street kids stopped in their tracks by that sudden roar and blaze of light. A shock of faces glaring up, amazed, floodlit for an instant by a falling meteorite.
Sean Holliday,
Here, sir.
John Hamill,
Here, sir.
Dermot Hart,
Here, sir.
Roy Irvine,
Yes, sir.
Samuel Johnson,
Here, sir.
Jared Kelly,
Here, sir.
Jared Malone,
Yes, sir.
David McBride,
Here, sir.
That's a song thrush in the foreground, its clear, persistent call cutting through the soft evening in this trim, well-tended Bangor garden. Not long home from her work at the Belfast Telephone Exchange, Miss Eileen Brown is settled under the spread of her favourite tree. Through the leaves, a lit blaze of light plays on her portable recorder as she captures birdsong on a blank cassette. The thin magnetic tape grips and pulls. Two small white spools behind the plastic window slowly wind time from left to right. Tonight, she will add this songster to her collection, a tidy row boxed and labelled in fine blue biro. Hedge sparrow, blackbird, wren, all neatly registered with the date and time. When the tea things are cleared, she will sit and carefully write. Song thrush, early evening, April 25th, 1969. Only adding in the days to come, and explosions from a falling meteorite. I've read somewhere that birds can sense disaster, sing in alarm, then disappear for days. When all is said and done, when all the recordings are complete, what have we left but birdsong in the garden and the sound of the dogs barking in the street?
Finbar McCann,
Here, sir.
Bram McCluskey,
Here, sir.
Michael MacDonald,
Here, sir.
John McErlean,
Here, sir.
Vincent McCartan,
Here, sir.
John McCurry,
Yes, sir.
Peter McDermott,
Here, sir.
Morris Murphy,
Here, sir.
Paddy Allen parked his precious car off the road and up on the footpath, out of harm's way, or so he thought. A tidy bachelor in his 40s, he loved that Austin Cambridge, the very first car on our street. His pale blue pride and joy, with a flash of white along its side, the gleaming windscreen and shiny strips of pristine chrome, reflecting everything. I'm warning you now, if that bloody ball hits my car again, I'll stick a knife in it. And true to his word, he did. When it thumped the car once more, then bounced along the polished bonnet, he lunged and grabbed the guilty ball and disappeared inside his own front door. Through the wide-open kitchen window, we heard a desperate gasp of air as he stabbed the pumped-up plastic. Then one last brief, then breathy sigh, becoming silence, shock and disbelief. A clutch of speechless kids trying not to cry. As if ashamed by his own anger, without a word, he flung the limp, deflated lump into the street, collapsed and crumpled, a first victim lying at our feet.
John Morgan,
Yes, sir.
Daniel O'Brien,
Here, sir.
Thomas O'Kean,
Here, sir.
John O'Neill,
Here, sir.
Francis Reynolds,
Here, sir.
John Porter,
Here, sir.
Thomas Smith,
Here, sir.
William Wilson,
Yes, sir.
Would play until it got too dark to see. Then one by one would drift off home, but that evening is burned to memory. A stampede of street kids stopped in their tracks by that sudden roar and blaze of light. A shock of faces glaring up, amazed, floodlit for an instant by a falling meteorite.